Hey, Sean Hannity here with a highlight from my radio show today, right here on iHeartRadio.
This is the Sean Hannity Show.
All right, as we roll along, Sean Hannity Show, glad you're with us. Important Senate race. We're going to check in quickly with Steve Lonegan. Sarah Palin is coming to town. She's going to be out there with him this weekend. Anyway, what does all of this mean? You know, Democrats, they're, all right, let's say they're winning the blame game. Should it matter? I don't think so. I think several things are happening. I think the confrontation between congressional Republicans and the president over spending on Obamacare and the subsequent government shutdown and, the specter of default, all of the name calling by the president, which I think I've never heard before in my life, I think is just a level of disgust. I think a lot of this is on the president's head. I think a lot of this is on Senate Democrats as well. I think it's pretty much across the board. And I think there's a level of disgust, and I think it's justifiable. I also think that there's a certain collision point here in that you really can't reconcile those that want government-run health care and those that do not. And that's where I think the Republicans may be losing some touch with their base, that they're viewed as champions, as heroes, as strong if they fight. Democrats, this is the holy grail for them. I think they also miscalculate what they're dealing with in the president, how dedicated he is to his radical leftist strategy. All right, we've got all this covered straight ahead.
We know you never want to miss the Sean Hannity Show. And now you never have to. Just sign up for Hannity Headlines, a bite-sized version of the show that you can take with you on your laptop, your mobile phone, everywhere you go, even to your liberal in-laws' place in Vermont.
Yeah.
And after a few hours of that, you'll be glad you brought Sean along. To sign up today for Hannity Headlines, go to Hannity.com.
My dad died when I was a teenager. I grew up in a two-family house in Ridgefield Park. When you're a kid and you have a great family, you don't have to have money to think you're rich. I thought we were millionaires. Little did I know we had no money.
I'm going to tell you my personal story, which I don't often do. When I was 14 years old, I was diagnosed with a condition called retinitis pigmentosa. It's a deteriorating eye condition of the retina that leads to blindness. So from where I'm standing right now, I cannot see a single one of you. By the time I got out of college, I became a client of the New Jersey Commission for the Blind and a Social Security disability recipient. And they asked what's going to happen to our son. He said he's going to end up weaving baskets. And I went for a job interview to this rinky-dink little cabinet showroom. And I said, sir, let me do this for you for free. Give me 2 weeks. I'll work for free. And I'll show you what I can do. We struggled for years, but I woke up one day in 1988, and I was the largest kitchen cabinet dealer in the tri-state area. I went from being a Social Security disability recipient to a successful businessman. Not because of a government program, but because of the free market economy, because of an opportunity given by business, not by government. That's what Americans are all about.
All right, thanks for being with us, and we continue. That is the story, the true life story of Steve Lonegan. Now, October the 16th, that's next week. There's a special election for a Senate seat in New Jersey, and the media basically declared this was a fait accompli, a done deal, that Cory Booker was going to get that seat. Well, the latest Rasmussen poll has it a 6-point race. That candidate, Steve Lonegan, his life story, it's like Horatio Alger overcoming incredible adversity and economic distress and blindness to achieve the American dream. How are you, sir? Welcome back.
Oh, Sean, it's great being with you. Thanks. Yeah, it's been quite an effort the last 14 weeks with a phenomenal base of volunteers. We've gone from being down 35 points to 25 to 15 to 12 to 6, and it's way much closer than that because, we have shown we have momentum. And that's really hard to stop. So, I'm honored to be the Republican nominee for this U.S. Senate seat. And, Sean, this has become a national election because this is an all-out referendum on everything Barack Obama is doing to our country, on Obamacare, on the intrusion into our privacy, this explosion of government that we have seen under this president that threatens to crush our economic prosperity. That's very important to me.
Why do you think that the media just assumed that you wouldn't be a player in all this? from the beginning, and that you've been able to defy the odds and make this a really close race for next week.
Well, my opponent has spent most of his life really running for this seat. He was endorsed by Oprah Winfrey months ago. He went out to California for fundraisers with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Jennifer Garner and Barbara Streisand. And
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
He's parading around California campaigning for U.S. Senate seats so he can be a third senator from California. While he was doing that, Sean, I was doing things the way I know how to do best, working very, very hard on the ground in New Jersey. Literally hand-to-hand combat. Going out to local events, raising money. They've outraised me 10-1 at least, and yet we've managed to bring this thing into what is, we're going to win this race. I mean, the momentum is just too awesome. While he was running around California, I was building a ground game that's second to none. I have thousands of volunteers across this state right now going door to door, putting out signs. Tomorrow, Sarah Palin will be here with Mark Levin.
I know. The great one told me he's going. I wish I could be there myself. I really do. I wanted to go, and I just have family obligations that I can't get out of. But
we'd love to have you. Look, just being on your show is huge because it gets out to a national audience. Well,
tell everybody where Governor Palin's coming out. Mark Levin is going to be there. The great one is going to be campaigning for you. Where's it going to be?
It's a great venue. It's the New Egypt Motor Raceway. It's the last dirt racetrack, auto racetrack in the Northeast. It's real New Jersey, center of the state. Can accommodate lots of people, and we will have lots of people. This is going to be the biggest political event this state's seen.
Wow.
Who knows when. But what you're seeing here is this just groundswell of momentum against Obama and the Obamacare assault on our health care. 800,000 New Jerseyans in the last 2 weeks have gotten their letters telling them they're being thrown off of their health insurance. Retirees, senior citizens are in turmoil, and they're just trying to jam this thing down our throats, and you know that. And we've got some leaders in Washington who are brave enough to hold the line. And my message to them has been, we have to fight this out. We have to fight this out. We have to stop this explosion of government. It will crush future opportunity for the next generation if we allow this president to continue this assault on our free market economy. So my website, if people want to know about the event, is Lonegan, LONEGAN.com, and I'd urge people to go there, help donate to my campaign because Michael Bloomberg came in with $1 million a couple of days ago when they hit the panic button and they realized that we're winning this race.
Well, the bottom line is that Cory Booker is like, as you said, he's going to vote with every liberal Democrat, and he's going to hold the line on this disastrous health care bill. And the people of New Jersey, look at the state of New Jersey in terms of, the worst environment for business. New York and New Jersey are competing. And the highest taxes and burdensome regulation. You actually brought this up in the debate. It was hard hitting, but I thought it was fair. And you pointed out to your opponent, you might not be able to swim in that river when you're talking about environmental regulations, because I think it's, full of bodies floating around from the shooting victims in your city.
And that happens to be true. That happens to be true. We actually produced the headline about the recent victim found floating. There's been at least 17, I believe, in the last 7 years floating in that one river, as well as well over 700 shootings in the streets of Newark. The mayor of Newark gets on late-night TV with Jimmy Fallon and others and talks about what a great job he's doing turning around the city. But here's what turning around means. Under Cory Booker, unemployment in Newark has gone from 8 to 14%. He runs one of the most expensive school districts in the United States of America, spending close to $30,000 a student, and has a high school dropout rate that ranges annually between 50 to 70%. And crime is up. He's at a 14-year high for robberies. Assaults are up. Violent crime is up. And shootings are an all-time high. It's a complete failure.
You know what's amazing?
The Hollywood elite just said, oh, no, look what a wonderful job he's doing. He's so colorful. That's not what governs.
The Star Ledger pointed out a while back how many billions of dollars have left the state of New Jersey because of the economy there. And even the New York Post today had an editorial about it. And, who's worse, New York or New Jersey? When it comes to taxes, the technical answer is New York, but it's not much of an achievement for New Jersey because out of the 50 states, New Jersey clocks in at 49th, according to the Tax Foundation. And that has to do with property taxes, unemployment, insurance taxes. It's just not a good environment. And how many people have you lost in the last 10 years in terms of the census moving out to states like the Carolinas and Florida and Texas?
Well, we've led the nation in outward bound migration for 5 years in a row. New Jersey 50 years ago was the number one economy in the country. We led the nation in job growth, wage growth. This was the place to build a business. I had a great 1980s under, of course, the leadership of Ronald Reagan during that great boom of economic prosperity. Is when I built my business from scratch. I could not do that today. I could not start the business I started. I could not grow that in this environment. The growth is just not there, and that's because of Obama. That's why this election is a national referendum. This is the whole country is going to be watching this race, because this either is going to be a validation of what Obama is doing to the country. We cannot allow it to happen, or we can send a powerful message to Washington and to the White House. We've had enough of your massive assault on our liberties, of your attacks on our individual freedoms, on your Obamacare assault, your Common Core intrusion into our education. So this is a real battleground over these issues, and it's only appropriate, Sean, that this battle comes back to New Jersey. I mean, this is the crossroads of the American Revolution. More battles were fought in the Revolution in this colony than any of the 13 colonies. So I'm up for this. We're energized. We have an amazing organization, and we're going to win. We're going to win on October 16th, and we're going to shock the country.
So explain, this vote takes place on when?
Wednesday.
Yeah, why on what? By the way, what do you? Has the governor of New Jersey, has he done any event for you?
He endorsed me. He had a great endorsement. He did a great fundraiser. We actually had a TV spot in his endorsement. I anticipate him doing a robocall in the next couple of days and hope to have him on the trail. But you know what? That's as much as he can do. It's up to me to drive the message as the candidate.
Yep, no, I agree with you.
Message. So, but
right, so now, by the way, you have to promise me you're not going to allow Levin to get into one of those cars on that racetrack this weekend, because that would, he likes to drive fast cars.
Let him drive one. We've had Rand
I'm only
Paul
kidding.
in here. We've had Rick Perry in here. Now we've got Governor Palin, who doesn't come out a lot. She's actually coming into New Jersey.
She's coming all the way in from Alaska to see it. Now, let me ask you this. So the event is tomorrow.
Correct.
And it's at this new racetrack. At what time?
It's the New Egypt racetrack. And it's
New Egypt racetrack. I'm sorry. What do I know? By the way, I've been to where you used to be mayor. You would go to the city all the time for tennis tournaments. It's a very popular place.
That's right, the racket club right here in Bulgaria. I didn't know that. Terrific. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm a big fan. I got to tell you, I've been watching from a distance, and you keep closing it. I'll be honest. In the beginning, I said, "Oh no, there's no hope." And now that I think that a lot of people have discovered more about Cory Booker and his texting plans and stuff like that has come up through this campaign and other stuff, I think they are really questioning, is this really good for New Jersey, especially on the health care issue? He's unfortunately, sounds like he's going to be a California-like senator, and that means very extreme left.
He's extreme left. Even the Bergen Record, one of the biggest newspapers in the state, said he's to the left of Barack Obama, if you can believe that. So he'll be a rubber stamp, whatever Obama tells him to do, and we just can't afford it. We need to really strengthen our conservative leadership in Washington. I'm looking forward to joining that leadership, and I think a win here, I know a win here will reignite the conservative movement and really give the Republican Party sort of the message it needs to move ahead. If they hold the line, and they need to hold the line in Washington against Obamacare, a win in New Jersey means that Harry Reid and Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi fold on October 17th.
Well, Steve Lonegan in New Jersey, we'll have you on again next week to remind people to go to the polls on Wednesday, and this Saturday at what time again?
It's at 4 o'clock, and it's Lonegan.com to sign up for the rally and to donate to the campaign, which I would appreciate a lot.
Yeah, I understand. All right, well, we're going to follow it. It's very interesting. Thank you, Steve Lonegan and Governor Palin. The great one is going to be there tomorrow, and I'm going to be with them in spirit. I have a family obligation. I wanted to go myself. I couldn't go.
For more of the Sean Hannity Show, go to Hannity.com.